Good morning, and welcome to the Morning Report. My name is Willie Lawson. The Morning Report is a production of FightbackMedia.com, 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 and FightbackMediaTV.com. We are thrilled that you are here today. This is the Juneteenth Eve. And here's where I think those of us, well, not me, but some of y'all, missed the boat on Juneteenth. And just like everything else, Juneteenth has been commandeered by the left because you can see the pictures, all the stuff that they have superimposed on Juneteenth. Juneteenth is a uniquely American holiday or celebration, or should be. And it should be a holiday that is celebrated, first of all, by Republicans. Because Juneteenth embodies exactly what the Republican Party was founded to do. The Republican Party was founded to abolish slavery in the United States. It was a party of the abolitionists. So someone say it worked. You started this political organization. It spread like wildfire across the country. You got a president elected who was able to sign the Emancipation Proclamation effectively ending slavery. Now, slavery didn't officially in the Constitution get, I know some of y'all are going to be like nitpicking, didn't really get eliminated until December of the same year in 1865. But it did happen. That's what we keep ignoring. It did happen. We are not, by any means at all, denigrating the horror that was slavery in America. Definite black mark, no pun intended, on our history for sure. But at the same time, we can't ignore that there was a time that that the country decided that it had lasted long enough and it didn't need to exist anymore. And that time was before the Industrial Revolution. We'll talk about that in a second. My goodness. Story time. A number of years ago, golly, I always forget. I'm always like, I don't even remember how long ago things were. You ever get to the age where you just don't remember how long things were? How long ago things were? You don't know whether it was 2 years ago or 10 years ago or 12 years ago or 30 years ago. It was probably more than 10 years ago. I was the vice president of the African American Republican Club of Hillsborough County. It just kind of worked out that way. It's not something I ran for or something I wanted to be part of. It just sort of ended up like that. And to give you an idea of what we're dealing with, that when I went over to the president of the African American Republican Club of Hillsborough County, in his living room was a giant picture of Barack Obama. And no, it wasn't on a dartboard. No. Yes. So that's what we're dealing with. And I learned some other things too that were disturbing. Not only did the president of the African American Republican Club of Hillsborough County vote for Barack Obama in 2008, a candidate for Congress that same year did the very same thing. A Republican candidate for Congress, a dear friend of mine, did the very same thing. I decided that the Republican Party of Hillsborough County needed to have a Juneteenth event. Now, there was so much education to be done about what Juneteenth was. Now, I'm going to give you real quick the Wikipedia definition, and you can research the other parts of this if you want to. Here it is. Juneteenth, officially, Juneteenth National Independence Day, is a federal holiday in the United States. It is celebrated annually on June 19th to commemorate the ending of slavery in the United States. Like I said, it wasn't the ending of slavery in the United States officially, but we celebrate on that day. The name is a combination of the words June and 19th, as it was on June 19th when Major General Gordon Granger ordered the final enforcement of the Emancipation Proclamation in Texas at the end of the American Civil War. Although this date commemorates enslaved people learning of their freedom under the Emancipation Proclamation, this is only applied to former Confederate states. There remained legally enslaved people in states that never seceded from the Union. These people did not get their freedom until the ratification of the 13th Amendment of the United States Constitution on December 6th in 1865. Okay? So we're cool about that. It was about 6 months later. Officially. Now, in practice, yes, people had already released their slaves and done all that because they knew that there was no way they were going to be able to hold on to them, and it was the end of the war. Nobody had any money. It was over. It was a done deal. It took 6 months for Congress to act, and they did. Early celebrations date back to 1866. Amazingly enough, 1 year after all this took place. At first involving church-centered community gatherings in Texas. They spread across the country, across the South, amongst newly freed African-American slaves and their descendants, and became more commercialized in the 1920s and 30s, often centering around like food festivals and that kind of stuff. And now art festivals and music festivals and all that stuff. Participants in the Great Migration brought these celebrations to the rest of the country. During the Civil Rights Movement in the 60s, these celebrations were eclipsed by the nonviolent determination to achieve civil rights, but grew in popularity again in the 70s with a focus on African American freedom and African American arts. What did I tell you? Beginning with Texas by proclaiming in 1938 and this legislation in 1979, every U.S. state and the District of Columbia has formally recognized the holiday in some way, shape, or form. Juneteenth is also celebrated by the Mascagoes in descendants of black Seminoles who escaped slavery in 1852. It's like 12 years before we're talking, and they settled in Mexico. The day was recognized as a federal holiday in 2021 when President Joe Biden signed the Juneteenth National Independence Day Act into law. Juneteenth became the first new federal holiday since MLK Day was adopted back in 1983. Yes, Trump had an opportunity to do this and didn't. Just saying. Just saying. Numbers of just the amount of missed opportunities because of whatever, because of short-sightedness and ridiculousness, are hard to fathom, hard to bear. I think that Juneteenth is a American holiday and should look like this. Should truly look like this. So here in the in the Bay Area, like I was saying before I was interrupted, I was working as the vice president of the African American Republican Club of Hillsborough County before I interrupted myself. And I said, this is an American Republican holiday that we should celebrate. The amount of education that I had to disseminate in the Republican Executive Committee was a mountain, absolute mountain, and all I wanted to do was have a luncheon. I wasn't trying to have some outreach program because I believe outreach is a snipe hunt. I was just like, can we have a luncheon so we could talk about it, so we could celebrate a little bit, so people would know. And there were and here was the plan. I had invited Alfonso Rachel. Look it up. I'll write down Alfonso Rachel's link in the description box. I invited him to come be our key speaker. I spoke. The Republican candidate in that district for Congress spoke. My friend Eddie Adams Jr. And no, the president of the African American Republican Club of Hillsborough County did not speak. A county commissioner spoke, and I think also the president, the chair of the Hillsborough County Republican Executive Committee, she also spoke. And then we had lunch, and we were able to educate people on what Juneteenth was really all about. To get people to come was hard. And what we also wanted to do is we also wanted to invite folks in the community, folks in the black community, to come. We were like, hey, we're going to pay for your lunch. We just want you to come. We don't need you to do anything. We don't need you to say anything. We don't need you to bring anything. We don't need you to do anything but come and sit with us. And let's have this together. Let's break bread together and have this discussion. Whenever you go to these things, it isn't what happens on the stage. A lot of times, that is the most important part. Is what happens, at every table. Those conversations. That's what will make the difference. That's where you mix the soup, right? We had a few people, I think. I was busy as I could possibly be, just getting enough tickets sold to Republicans, trying to convince Republicans that this was an opportunity, that this was a time for us to celebrate again what the Republican Party was built for, the Abolitionist Party was built for. That we had won this thing, and we could wave this flag, because this was a flag that we deserve to wave, right? I'm telling you, it was hard. I ain't gonna lie, it was hard, but it happened. But here's what's happened. Let me show you something. The left is really good about commandeering things, about taking things that were never supposed to be. Excuse me for looking away. I'm at production screen over here because I need to show you something. Because this imagery is not the imagery of Juneteenth. I'll show you two pictures. One should be the imagery of Juneteenth. It is this one. That should be the imagery of Juneteenth. This one is not. If you recognize that fist, that is a socialist fist. That is not the imagery of Juneteenth. It is not. It should not be. It is a uniquely American holiday or celebration. It should look like this. This should be the imagery. With finally the American flag draped over the African woman, inviting the African woman and the African race at that time to be engrafted into the American dream. That needs to be the imagery. Not some workers' revolution, socialist / communist imagery. This is what we have let this move into, and the way that it is easy, because we didn't take up the opportunity. We didn't grab it. We didn't run with it. And we didn't listen to the people who said we needed to. Another horrifically missed opportunity. And now it's too, and I'm going to tell you now, and now it's too late. It is too late now. It's too late. When you have that, it's too late. This is just a cautionary tale for the rest. Okay, here's what you can't do tomorrow. You can't whine and complain about the division that you think is being caused by celebrations like Juneteenth. You got to just sort of shut up and suck it up all day. Yes, I know. It's not fun. Stay off Twitter. Stay off Twitter. Stay the hell off Twitter. Because you had your shot. I'm sorry. I'm looking at my production screen. I'm sorry. You had your shot, and a lot of you, because you were afraid and you were dumb. Two really dangerous things. It's now this. For a lot of people, especially people who don't know any better, it's now this. It was never intended to be that. Never. Should have always been this right here. Any case, I got to get out of here and make room for somebody else. So until we see you again, go out there and learn something, love somebody, and for goodness sake, take care of yourself. If you are interested in what we're doing here, if you're the least bit fascinated by it, please subscribe to the channel and share and comment and share and do all the things. We would greatly appreciate it. Go to our website, which is www.fightbackmedia.com, www.fightbackmedia.com, and you can sign up there for our updates and check out our gear store and all that stuff. Well, again, we appreciate you. We will see you when we see you. Bye now.